Hi there, Gemini. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for June. Now, because your ruler Mercury is set to start to go backwards on the 7th, I do think a lot of astrologers will put the main emphasis on that. But you know, there's so much going on outside of that, not least that Venus is going to be influential this month. And also Neptune itself begins a retrograde on the 9th. But the story of this month begins in quite sensational fashion for you, because the Sun in your sign is forging an ace link with Mars through the first 4 days. And if you feel really charged up and motivated by something, go for it. You really can have a success. And also some of the tangle of politics which are seen to have inflicted your situation, particularly around friendships and jealousy over the last couple of years, that will melt into the ether after the 3rd of this month, and that's very welcome. It is going to be coming back in October, but for now you get a bit of a breather. What is more challenging is that Mars is going to be in a little bit of a dust-up through to the 10th with Pluto. Now, this suggests that you're going to be emanating a very sexy and passionate kind of aura in these days. And also Venus is going to be located in a mysterious part of your horoscope for the first 2/3 of this month up until the 22nd. Now, if you're not particularly happy in a relationship, this could mean that one can reach a crunch point. You may go through a sort of false dawn of thinking it's going to recover and get to where you want it to in the first 10 days. But then, once Venus goes face to face with Saturn, if there are issues that have not come out into the open between yourselves before now, they may do so then. And unfortunately, it could be terminal if the relationship really is bumping along the bottom. But I want to reassure you that although Mercury is going to start to twist backwards from the 7th, and it can influence your finances, it's not something that you have no control over. And there is a tendency to think that when these aspects or influences are ongoing, that there's nothing we can do. This is simply not true. Of course, there are some things about Gemini Mercury retrograde that can be very mischief-making around the transport system and around technology, and things can prove unreliable outside of what we can influence. But when it comes to making sure you're chasing up the money that's owed to you, checking your bank statements, till receipts, making sure that everything is precise, then you can limit the damage that Mercury retrograde can cause you. Neptune retrograde is more tricky. It's going to go on for 5.5 months, and it is in a part of your horoscope to do with your worldly interaction. Ironically, it's forging a superlink with Venus in the first week of this month, suggesting that there could be somebody at work, if you're footloose and fancy free, who could be holding something of a secret fascination for you, and it could be a smouldering attraction that can grow stronger and stronger. Will you be tempted? It's certainly possible that some kind of quiet relationship can build up in the early parts of this month. However, I would also like to stress that Venus does influence our financial situation. So if you've been working on something behind the scenes, then by the time the Sun moves into your sector of money on the 21st and Venus moves on the 23rd, then I do feel that you're going to feel much more engaged with life in general. You can emerge from some of the introspection that you were feeling with Venus in your 12th solar house, and the Sun gets more realistic. Basically, it's more idealistic in your side. It's urging you to chase what's really right in your heart, but it is going to be tempered by some of these pressures and pulls that are going on astrologically. But the great news is that once Venus arrives in your sign, some of the doubts are going to just fade away, maybe even in an existing relationship, and it can go through a renaissance. I'd also like to say that Neptune is very positive in its link with the Sun at the very end of this month. And if you are someone who's quite creative and has lots of imaginative ideas, there could be a hint of how you can earn more money, even if it's doing stuff on the side for yourself. Yet, when it comes to your love life, there could be somebody that you're strongly attracted to, but someone around you could poo-poo and be a bit dismissive about. But it's going to be important that you do what's right for you. But when Venus and Neptune clash, some deceit is possible. So if you are attracted to someone who's older or much younger than you, just be conscious that you may not be getting the full story. And, crucially, there may be more than one mystery admirer beating a path to your door this month. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.